I find that, when things happen, when people get frustrated, it doesn't take much for a spark to set it off, which is kind of what's happening. But it's also raising our awareness to seeing what is going on deeper levels. I've been doing a lot of meditating on asking what is going on the deeper levels, not the surface level. We're seeing the surface, but what is really happening underlying everything. And from a astrological point of view, there's a lot of things shifting, a lot of planets going retrograde or shifting, into a different energy, out of an old energy, one that's been around for a little while, into a newer energy. And there's a lot of shifting happening. I mean, I think we're going to see a lot of things constantly going up and down. My own gut feeling has been that things are imploding, if that's a right thing. But, when you get rid of the old cycles or the old consciousness or the old ways and paradigms, it opens up for the new paradigms. So we all came on the planet to be able to be here helping through this shift. I'm not going to say it'll be an easy shift. It'll be, there'll be times that it's really rough and hard to observe and hard to be here in this energy. But as light workers, we all agreed to come onto the planet at this point in time to help bring in a different way of being. And we've all done a lot of work over many years, so we've been preparing for this point in time. So Paul Mohini and myself were talking how, Swami trained us and he gave us so many tools to use for this time. And so it felt very important for us to come together and start implementing or continuing, because we've been doing this, but to continue to implement this energy to help with shifting, to try to help settle the energies down before we go into our next process of soul traveling. Because when there's so much disturbance, it can be very disturbing to our process. So we very much felt that right now we all really need to continue to be light workers and to start working to help through this transitioning time. So I really honor all of you for coming and showing up and being willing to do this work, because it's important work. So Paul or Mohini, do we want to talk about what we would like to do?
Yeah, before we get into what our thoughts were, I just wanted to share with you that I was in India during the 2001 9/11 bombings. I was in India for the 2008 meltdown of the financial institutions. And every time that there was something in the nature which created fear, anger, anxiety, or the negative vibrations on the planet, Swami always had us go back to shifting the vibrations of Mother Earth, to be as an influence, not a victim, to use our power, to use our energy in service of humanity. I remember one time he would have us go lie out on the grass in the ashram and repeat the first earth mantra for hours. Another time he would have us be doing the Maheshwari mantra, which is a very powerful initiation to help calm the mother down. Other times he would have us do new moon meditations every new moon, doing the 9 arrows. The 9 arrows are linked with the angels, which is Shiva, which has a really powerful impact with mother. Other times he would have us be doing Mahakali. All of this, in retrospect, helped me to understand that it's our unfolding relationship with the elements and the mother's energy to create a new vibration on the planet, around us, within us, and then learn how to be like masters at the core of the vibrational consciousness to shift things. And he gave us a lot of tools. In fact, sometimes I think it's a little bit overwhelming. So when Mohini, Kowski, and myself, we kind of got together, it was kind of like, okay, whenever there's a disturbance, you don't go into a process. You wait. It's about reading the energy. It's about understanding the messages. It's understanding the timing. It's about understanding our relationship with the vibrations around us and within us. So we saw this as an opportunity to practice mastery. That's why we're all here. We're all practicing mastery. And part of that is to be in touch with it, with our intuitive side, and to learn from each other. How do we approach these circumstances and situations? So we thought to ourselves, okay, it's time to just kind of wait. You know, Swami's best mantra was wait. Wait. And we would go, but why should we wait? You know, behind that word wait was great wisdom, great discrimination, great understanding about timing, about strategy, about understanding from a higher consciousness what's happening. He was always in tune with the nature, what's going on, what's happening, and he would communicate with the nature. This is what we all need to do. This is part of mastery. We are all masters, whether you are conscious of it or not. You all have that capacity. You all have that ability. So we paused for a moment and we said, well, we need to kind of change and shift the energy and utilize our gifts and implement. What good is it if you're in bliss all the time? You got to implement. Because when you implement, you see your energy in motion. Then when you see the reflection coming back, you can understand how your target hit the mark and what was the reflection back, so that you can hear the communication back from the nature. Yes, your intention is accurate. And then you have to digest that. That's part of the cycle. So, Mohini, what do you say to that?
Absolutely agree with everything you said.
That's because I got it from you.
We're just on the same wavelength there. So the one thing I wanted to add about that is that, because you were talking about, Swami working and his teaching, and, before every big process that he gave, before he released, each new channel that he was going to release, he always made us make a commitment to Baba, to the Guru Parampara, that we are going to make a commitment to use the energy in the world for the good, to make a commitment to do our duty, to do our dharma. And he said, you never receive anything that you're not going to use, because we're not doing this path for selfish reasons. We're doing it to be of service in the world. So, before we did anything, we always made this commitment over and over and over again for all the channels we received. And, heartfully, that's why we were all there. And that's why we all, we're doing this work. Like you all, you're healers, you use the energy in the world. And that's why we're here together. And so this is a really beautiful opportunity now to step up and implement the things that we have received. And as we're coming up to Guru Purnima, Guru Purnima, the full moon of the Guru is coming up in a few weeks. And that's when we had a lot of our big processes. And so it's a beautiful opportunity now to demonstrate continue on an ongoing way at a really critical point in our world and our timeline. And if you look at, I think Kowski, you mentioned it, the energy astrologically in the next few weeks, we're coming up, there are 3 eclipses coming up. And Swami talked about eclipses, and eclipses are very powerful times. The energy is super high, but it's also a super unstable time. So, the potential for how that energy is going to go, or what direction that energy is going to go in, it's really something we need to step back and look at. So the energy is super high but unstable. And if we look at what's going on in the world right now, we're on the precipice of something here. And, and Swami had talked about this time coming. And so now it's really, for me and for Paul and Kowski, we were talking about this time to really hang together as a group and implement the energy. We're really needed right now. And it's not the time to step into a new process. And Paul described really well, Swami always demonstrated how to be. And he always said, watch what I do and do as I do. And so that's how he taught us, by demonstrating. And he demonstrated over and over again how he handled things. He watched the energy. He always watched the energy. And Paul, you described that really well. So he would step back and, calm the energy, balance the energy, do his duty, come back, open channels. So he was always very flexible and fluid, moving with what was happening in the world. And so it's a time for us now to do, to demonstrate, like you said, that mastery, and also demonstrate our commitment. And so it's beautiful that we're all together today, and we can do that over the next few weeks to really help calm down the energy right now that's rather volatile, especially in the U.S. I don't know how it is in Europe per se, but in the U.S. we've had quite an explosion.
In Europe, it's sunshine. It's sunny. Sunshine, beautiful, easy going.
Hi, Mohini. May I ask a question at this moment, or should we save it till later?
Please.
Okay, so you mentioned eclipses and how it's a powerful and maybe volatile time. Did Kalashviji ever talk about how mantras and like sadhana practices are stronger, let's say like 2 to 5-fold during those times? I'm curious because I'm curious about whether he talked about that, because it would be a perfect time for us to have a group process or something, because if we're having 3 eclipses, and we're doing this as a group, there's potential for it for a greater outcome.
So that's why we decided to continue with this group, is that we
Okay.
are going to be using the tools as a group, because it's, you know, anytime you have a group, it amplifies the energy. So we are going to be doing not necessarily a standard process, but a process using the mantras together collectively to help to calm down the mother and to help with this shift that's occurring right now. So Mohini, you want to describe what we're going to be doing? You want me to go into it?
Go ahead, you can. Or Paul, maybe. Or did you want to say anything else about the eclipses, Paul?
Yeah.
We manage that energy.
Yeah. I think Mohini, you were there when he did, and you know, you have to understand, Swami Kaleshwar was a master. I mean, he just did things and broke the rules and did things very profoundly different than anything that is the norm. Normally during eclipses, and he was like a supernatural scientist. He tested the energy, and he really did a lot to verify and really understand the energy and what was involved. So specifically, you know, he said that, you know, during eclipses, the energy is like really, really, really powerful. Sometimes he described it as being, it's sometimes can be overwhelming and too powerful for people. But during eclipses is a very powerful time. And in normal Hindu practices during eclipses, what they do is they cover deities, and they don't go out, and they don't do a lot of things. But a lot of times Swami did the complete opposite. But for sure, the main thing is that during eclipses is a very powerful time to meditate. It's a very powerful time to be introspective. It's a very powerful time to access energies that wouldn't normally be there. And so you can take any energy and use it in a positive way. So what we're going to do during this period, the next 4 weeks, is how to connect with the nature and our soul in a way that could amplify the energy in a positive way. So each week we'll be doing a different mantra, and we're going to be experimenting. We're going to be working with these channels. We're going to be exploring what it's like for us, and then we're going to come back together and we're going to talk it out with each other to see what it was like. So what are your thoughts about that, Mohini?
I think it's great.
Oh.
You know, that's what Swami always did, was say, you know, try something, see how the nature reflects, and then, you know, look at it and then decide the next step, basically. And so that's what we're going to do as a group. We're going to be great spiritual scientists. And what's happening now is somewhat different than what's happened before. A lot of what's happened in the past had to do with natural disasters. We're dealing with a somewhat different energy right now at a different time. So we are going to experiment with different mantras that Swami had used for difficult times. You know, but everything carries a different energy. So we're going to see the effect of these different energies in the world as we use them. So I think it's a great opportunity for us to grow in mastery and the knowledge of the effect of our implementation. And we thought it would be good for the group to break down into subgroups and to help go deeper into what Swami did talk about regarding these different mantras and their use and implementation. And then, get together, a few people with each mantra and, research a little bit and come back to the group and talk about it. And we can talk about our experiences using it. And that'll help deepen our understanding, not only of what he taught and the mantras, but also of our implementation. Did you want to?
How does that sound, guys? Can we get some reflection back from the nature here?
Yes, we're implementing something here. Okay, so.
Okay, we got Andrea Eversberg with a thumbs up. Mexhild is a thumbs up. Doreen's a thumbs up. Do you guys understand that this is about active participation and engaging with the energy and the nature, and then allowing you guys to take responsibility for educating yourself to some degree about the mantras. As an example, one of the mantras, Mahakali. It is one of the most powerful mantras that Sri Kaleshwar ever used throughout his lifetime. And the depth of that mantra is beyond what you can even imagine. You have to taste it for yourself. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to have you guys take responsibility for your education process and for your knowledge process and grinding that information so that you can own it. Any questions? Question on for 4664. Your hand is up. Please unmute and go. Did anybody have a comment or would like to share? Because this
I
is.
also have a question.
Go ahead.
Hello? Yeah. I'm Suzanne, yeah, from phone. So I never did the Mahakali mantra, for example, and I don't know, is there something like a process I should do before I use it, or I just use it when I hear it from you?
You just start using it.
So there's nothing like a big process before, like.
Gotta jump in the ocean.
Okay.
The mother. Yeah, just have to learn it. That's all.
We can
Okay,
send you the link so that you can learn it.
Don't you love
It's
it?
a very, very powerful mantra.
Don't you love it when we just say, just do it, just jump in the water, you'll be fine.
You learn how to swim.
Learn how to swim real quick. So what we were thinking is maybe pairing like a senior student with a couple of newer students, and you guys can kind of work on the particular mantra with the research, come back, talk about it a little bit, then we'll do a meditation to start getting that energy rolling. And then come back the following week, see how people experience or what their reflection they received happens, and then we'll go to the next mantra. So that's kind of how we're looking at this. So for you senior teachers, we would need 4 because we'd start this next week.
Yeah.
Because
So
we have.
So Suzanne, we're going to put you with Doreen and Spiro and one other person, and you guys are a great knowledge team to figure out, what the information is about Mahakali. How does that sound? Sounds exciting, right?
Great.
Suzanne? Suzanne?
She's muted.
She's muted.
She ran away.
Can't run away from Mahakali.
Okay, so is that okay for you guys because you are on totally different time zones, or do we want to try to keep people together who are in the same time zone so it's easier?
Yeah.
So Doreen's like in California and everybody else is in Europe.
Right. Or,
Not going to be an issue for people.
right. Or like Helmut is also in Germany.
Yeah.
Right?
So
Andrea,
maybe all the Europeans can go in one group.
How many do
No.
we go? One.
We have
No.
Mechthild, Karen, Sophie, Spiro, Suzanne.
That'd be 2 separate groups, I think, right?
yeah, we could put all the Germans and the French together and see what happens.
So now I'm unmute. Hello.
Okay,
Hello.
good.
So, yeah, it was a good idea, but I didn't find my the button of the iPhone. Okay.
So we need 4 groups, right? Are we starting this week or next week? Because there's 4 weekends in June before Guru Purnima.
So 4 groups, 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Pam. Can you hear me? Am I unmuted?
Yeah, you're unmuted. Go ahead, Pam Sakamoto.
Okay. Pam Sacamano, 4446 is the last number. I think May might be on this call also. So we're in California, and I can speak for myself. I would like to be in a group.
Cool.
So maybe Doreen, May, and you, Pam?
Well, I don't know if May's on this. I did text her.
Oh, we'll get her. We'll get her on board. No issue.
Yeah.
The 3 senior teachers there.
Okay, so yeah, we need 4 weeks. So
Is there,
well,
can we ask how many people have done Maheshwari? Because I've done Maheshwari.
We're gonna wait on the Maheshwari. What
Okay.
do you think, Mohini?
I think.
Well, I started doing that like 2 weeks ago already. I've been doing Maheshwari every day, and the inner earth and plus the earth that he gave us for the 18 at Christmas, which are also really good mantras.
Okay, can you speak up a little bit more so that your voice is kind of low so that everybody can hear you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was saying Maheshwari, inner earth, and also the earth that he gave at Christmas, 99, is very powerful.
Okay. What we're gonna do is you can send in your recommendations, and then we can take a look
Okay.
at it. So, couple things, if I may interject here. One of the mantras, we can put together a whole list of mantras, and then Maheshwari. Not everybody has been initiated into the Maheshwari mantra, so it's a little bit difficult. So that's the only hesitation I have. Certainly, you can continue doing it. I think it would be really great. So I'm just going to repeat out. I'm going to repeat a couple of the mantras that came to mind, so that we can all just kind of expand our consciousness. Beside the Mahakali, the 9 arrows. Now, I know some people don't know what the 9 arrows are, but it's an extremely powerful mantra that we can figure out whether, to discover the power of them. But they are arrows designed to really cut negativity in a very, very, very powerful way. And in fact, every new moon that Swami had people in the ashram, we would be spending an hour repeating that mantra every single new moon. In the same light, on the full moons, he would have us do either Mahakali or the Shakti Gayatri. So you can see that's his standard. Now, of course, there's Maheshwari. There's also the inner earth. There's also Sky Mantra. You know, Sky Mantra is very powerful because it calms the energy down. Shiva is the one who's most powerful to suck the poison. So it's a very powerful tool. So what we thought would be good as a first step to just do Mahakali, because it's one of the most powerful things, and then we can figure out everything else, you know. Plus the fact it's more leaning towards new moon, and so if we do it for this week, we can pick up the 9 arrows maybe for the next thing. Mohini Kausaki, please.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Let's start with Mahakali, do the 9 arrows, and then let's compile a list of other mantras that we might use. And then, you know, we can plan that out. So send your suggestions in and we'll just keep a list. And we can try all of them, you know. I mean, we're targeting 4 weeks to start with up until Guru Purnima, but we can absolutely continue.
And so anybody who is going to be joining this, then please also email us, because then we can break people up in groups. With, you know, we're trying to put a senior teacher with people who are newer, just so that it everybody can contribute. Because what you're going to do is look at this mantra, find research on it, and come back. And it doesn't have to be a long discussion, but just what is the purpose and value of that particular mantra and why we would use it. So that's kind of, it gets everybody to really start delving into the knowledge in a powerful way.
And I also want to suggest that just because the Germans are in the German time zone doesn't mean that Germans need to just be with Germans. Germans could be with the Americans, and some of the Americans could be with the people over in Denmark, and the people in France could be with some of the people in the US, and we can mix it up. I mean, we're all the same. So if you have a preference, you know, you can just let us know.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea is to put together people that complement and that are we can learn from each other.
Mm-hmm.
Spiro, you had a question.
Well, when we are doing the process as such as, let's say, Mahakali, then you know, do you want us to go and really go and understand the whole process? Let's say each bija of that, each letter of that. Is it this what we're talking about? Understanding the each, you know, vibrational effect of it. Is it so?
Whatever you can find, whatever strikes a chord in you and your soul and your understanding. You know, it'll be deeply personal for everyone in the group. So just let your interest, passion, creativity go. I mean, it shouldn't be a chore. It should be something that, you know, you're interested, that drives you. So if you are interested in the meaning of the different bijas and how they work and implement together, absolutely go for it. And then bring it back and share it with the group. I mean, there's no particular guideline. You're the creator here. So you're going to find out what you can find out about the mantra and the process and how it's used, why it's used, the importance, whatever it is you find.
All right. Thank you.
For me, it would be very useful and helpful if there would be a little explanation about every mantra. I mean, just a little bit. Like this nine arrows, I always hear the name, but I never know what it is. So just now I know it's against negativity. This is already something. But before I start the mantra, it would really be perfect just to have a little knowledge about it.
So Suzanne, we're going to put you and Helmut together, and you guys can have a really good conference call and discussion about it, because in Germany, Helmut is one of the, of course, all of you guys are. Andrea is very seasoned. Helmut's very seasoned. Mitchell's also very seasoned. And then speaking in German may be easier if that's something that is of interest to you? What do you think?
Yeah, well, whatever. Yeah, if they have time, and it would be super perfect. Yeah.
Because we all have to help each other kind of build up our energy, our understanding, and to really have a depth understanding of what he tried to create. You know, I'll just briefly say two things about Mahakali. He said everything is contained in Mahakali. That was one of his statements. He said that the angels are contained in Mahakali. He said the rishis actually created Mahakali, a form of Mahakali. The rishis. Why? Because she was the perfect vehicle for bringing up the positive energy, but really cutting the negativity. The angels are there, the gods are there, you know, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, Saraswati, Durga, and Lakshmi are located within that, in that form of Mahakali. Elements are contained in that. But what's important is to have an open heart with the mantras and to be able to put your intention along with that energy and your soul capacity to have an effect, as an example.
Right. And Mahakali, the bija is Yamataraja Bana Salagam. Swami mentions that all the time. So what's the importance of each of those bijas? It's in a lot of mantras, you know, so, you know, that's an interesting point to dive into. That's very significant. It's in a lot of processes.
Yeah.
The creation starts from Ya, so it's natural.
Mm-hmm.
But also those bijas represent the angels.
Mm-hmm.
And in Mahakali, you know, it's broken down into, you know, the angels and the elements and your soul, and you're pulling those vibrations into you to merge within you. And as that happens, you're also, it's all about relationships. You know, this relationship with this thing called the divine, the aspect of creation that we're not conscious of. And what we're doing is we're sending out a message to the divine. Hey, I want to get to know you. I want to experience you. I want to work with you. I need your help. I want to serve the planet. I want to enroll your vibrations and then direct those vibrations in a way that helps others. That's what the spiritual path is about. Okay, so the question that came up from Mechtild Mueller is, in order to connect in subgroups, we will need our email addresses. Of course, I'm willing to share knowledge by heart. Yeah, so the question is, how are we gonna connect people with other people? Well, I guess we'll have to kind of like organize and manage that, right?
Is there anybody on Skype or WhatsApp? You can do Skype and WhatsApp. It doesn't cost anything.
Right. So why don't you all send us an email with your Skype and WhatsApp email, and then we can figure out how to kind of put people into groups, or if you have a preference, you can do it that way.
Well, during this time with COVID, isn't Zoom free for everybody?
I think you have to, there's a lot of,
Zoom
if
is
people
free.
already have Zoom up as,
Zoom is free for everybody. It's just if you want to go longer than like 45 minutes or something, then you have to start paying.
Well, no, not during this time. With COVID, they took off that parameter.
Yeah, and it's just free for everybody anyway, normally.
do you have to be a organizer and set up the call? Like, you know, if somebody's already an organizer because they're already teaching, then you can send out the link for people to do the Zoom calls. But I don't know if you have to do that if you aren't an organizer.
Yeah, anybody can do that. Anybody can set up a meeting and send out the links.
So for the German group, I have an account on Zoom. So if we want to use Zoom, we could use that.
I mean, that's all I'm saying
Yes.
is that Zoom is also an option. That's all I'm saying. And that it's free and there's, yeah.
Yeah, great. That's awesome.
I have a question. Would it be, from a knowledge standpoint and a grinding standpoint, would it be easier to put, and please just, it's a question, would it be easier to have all the Germans together to have their own like subgroup of grinding? Is that an easier thing?
Yes.
Now it's
It
about
might
the
be-
language, right? It's, I think, about the language. It's easier for us to understand. Maybe I don't know how good the English skills are for everybody in Germany. I don't know.
So we have Suzanne, Helmut, Andrea, Metchel, and that's five. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4. There, and then we can have Spiro as the token Denmark person there. That would be really great for you, Spiro, because you know Andrea, Helmut, and Metchel are like they're senior. I mean, you know, you can ask any of them some of their experiences. They've had some amazing experiences having been around Swami. So
Sophie, where's Sophie? Sophie, you're in Paris? So she's also in there
yeah, but
in
she's
Europe.
French.
Okay, so
Okay, we got to unmute you. We got to unmute. Let's unmute. Go ahead.
I understand German too, so.
Okay, fantastic. 5. There's a number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's done.
I don't understand German, so
Oh, yeah.
unless they speak Yiddish, that's okay.
Spiro, we can teach you, not a problem.
Yes, thank you. I'd love to.
okay,
Spirit, go
so
with the Americans then.
yeah, Spirit will go with the Americans.
Yeah, Spiro, you know, Spiro doesn't sleep, so it doesn't matter the time zone.
He just meditates all the time.
He meditates all the time, and he makes pizzas all the time. That's it.
Meditate, you know, pizzas, yes, and looking after my children.
And looking after your children and dealing with family. That's all.
Yeah.
That's a combination, meditation and pizza. And there's got to be a song in that somewhere.
Yoga.
I do practice my music daily as well, so I cannot live without that.
He doesn't have time
meditation
to
and pizza,
sleep.
I like that.
He doesn't have time to sleep. That's why he's always like, okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so then we have the Americans, which is Ronalda, Doreen, Pam.
Ronaldo's Canadian, but she's an honorary American for this.
An honorary American.
We've adopted you into the North American Free Spiritual Treaty. Okay, so we've got Doreen, Ronalda. We have
Anju,
Pam,
Ramya,
Ramya, and
Devika.
and
I don't know who's 6152 number.
And Tamara.
Tamara, and then there's some call-in numbers that I don't know who they are.
Tamara's not on.
Tamara was on
Who's
before.
6152.
She was here with me and then left to go to the airport, so I don't think she's on.
Okay,
She's flying.
all right. We can just keep that as an option. And then
6152.
Melissa.
Okay, Melissa.
Ronaldo.
The 310-746-6152. Who is that?
I don't know.
Would
This is
somebody
great.
like to?
The anonymous people are now
That's
being
right.
revealed.
Can you please unmute yourself and let us know who you are? 310-746-6152.
That's me, it's Ramya. I just typed it in.
Okay, so you're up twice.
What do you mean?
I have 2 screens for you.
Oh, that's because I have my phone on and my computer.
Ah, okay, good. All right. And then there's let's see, another call-in user 2. Who's that?
Another caller, I'm 295-2469.
That's
This is Davy Cohn.
Okay, so is that the same as call-in user 2 as Devika? You're up twice too.
I'm not sure how I'm coming up.
Yeah, well, there's I got you on your phone, but then there's another call-in user 2. Who's that, Paul?
don't know.
Anyone to unmute?
Okay, I just unmuted caller number 2. Who is that? Just okay, doesn't matter. We'll figure it out. And then the 746. Okay, that's Ramya. Okay, good.
Okay, great. That way we know who's all here.
Right, and we'll
So,
send out a
so I'm in the US, I'm in Colorado, but I came late to the call, so I'm not too sure what I'm committing to. I don't know what you're doing.
Hello?
So we're breaking into subgroups.
Right, right.
For the next 4 weeks, we're going to be, the groups will come to the groups are gonna research on a particular mantra that we're doing as a group for a week to help settle down and help with the planet, as well as this shift that we're going through right now. And so it's kind of like subgroups grinding the knowledge regarding that particular mantra. So we're trying to put people who are close in time zones and things that can do that. So that's kind of what we're doing. We're working to implement these energies and these tools that Swami gave us to help
Right,
on the
but
planet right now.
I understand that, but how long are you meditating and when and all of that?
We're thinking we would do 20 minutes a day with that particular mantra for a week. And then the next group will come in with another mantra that they've researched on. They'll discuss it. Then we'll do the same thing for the following week up until Guru Purnima. And then we were thinking maybe for that last week for Guru Purnima is to do Swami's personal mantra with our personal mantra, really linking deeply to the Guru Parampara.
And there's no time of day set when we're doing this, right?
No, whenever you want to sit down.
No, you just connect to the whole group, before you start your meditation. I think it would be important for each group too to come up with the wording for a specific intention that we'll all use as a group when we're using that mantra. So that will be some good practice in developing intention, creating the arrow that we're going to send out into the universe.
So are we going to be doing anything this week?
I have a question.
Mhm.
I thought I understood, but now I'm a little confused. I know we're doing the Mahakali prayer for a week. Then the groups are going to decide what is the next mantra to do for the next week. Is that what I heard Kowski say?
Yes, I thought that they were gonna pick one, or we'll give a list of ones that Paul was suggesting. just from what Swami has used in previous times of, disturbance or other processes. But it is, the group can come up with a mantra that they think is effective for what we're experiencing on the planet right now.
Okay, so, but we have, okay, so I have Spiro, Doreen, Karen, if she's
Kieran. It's Kieran.
in, Anju, Pam, Ramya, Devika, and Ronalda.
Okay,
So
but
is
we're going to
that two
split into
groups?
2 groups.
Okay, so that'll be 2 groups. And we'll meet every week so that, and each group, right now I think we have 3 groups, right? If we have the German group and then we have two of this, the rest of the, then we'll meet every week. And then, so, because I thought originally that we were researching on the Mahakali prayer so that we had a deeper understanding, and that at some point in this week, during this week, the subgroup will meet and then they'll talk about the Mahakali prayer. And then the next time we meet, which is in a week, then, because I'm a little confused about what we're researching on. We're researching on a new mantra to use, or we're researching on the one that we are doing. That's where my confusion is.
Can I make a suggestion here? Let's try to make it easy for everybody. So let's say 3 mantras. One group, okay, let's say between the Germans and Doreen's group, who wants to do research on just information and knowledge about the mantra Mahakali? Okay, that's the first thing.
Okay,
Okay,
but wait a minute.
wait a sec. You're jumping.
I'm going to
in.
ask you this question because you said Doreen's group.
Yeah,
There's
we need
2
to
American
split up.
groups.
Yeah, 2
Okay,
groups.
so why would have a half of one and then half of these 8 and then somebody else has another half? So we haven't established the groups yet. That's what I'm saying.
Would Ramya, are you willing to lead a group or be like, just like point person?
Let me see if I can unmute. Okay, Ramya, you're unmuted. Uh, 746.
You have to unmute her phone.
Can you hear me?
Ramya, you're unmuted.
I think we're getting feedback because you have both the computer and the phone up.
Working before, it usually works though. It's because I muted. Yeah.
Got to turn one of them off.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I think I should not be unmuted
Can
from
you
your
speak a
side
little bit
as well.
loudly?
She's got both her computer and her phone up, so we're getting a lot of feedback. She's got to turn.
Yeah, the computer's got to go off.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, I'm happy to do that.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. So now we have 3 groups. We got the German group, we've got Doreen's group, and we've got Ramya's group, right?
Okay, so now let's say Doreen has who in her group? So let's write this down so we're not confused.
Okay, well, I might make it easier because I think I wrote, if I leave anybody out, I'm very sorry, but I think we could just go from the list that in the, random, this is random, okay?
Right.
Spiro, Doreen, Kieran, and Anju. Well, Anju's kind of a senior teacher too, right? But then the other group would be Pam, Ramya, Devika, and Ronalda.
Sounds
Did I
good.
leave anyone out?
And then if Pam Sakamoto gets on board, we'll put her into one of the groups. How's that?
Pam is on. I've got her in.
Okay, great.
Tamara is the unknown.
I'm on.
Yay.
Tamara is the unknown. She's flying right now.
You have a lot of senior students actually in this group. I'd say probably almost everybody. I mean, Ronaldo is a senior student, so is Sophie,
Right.
as Anju.
I guess it's just these people will be the point people to, you know,
Right.
get in
Yeah,
touch
I mean,
and then arrange for
there's no
whatever.
hierarchy as far as I can tell. We're all learning
Right,
from
right.
each other, right?
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's an illusion, the senior thing.
Right.
So I have a
So they're
question.
just point people to get, organize the time and call and whatever.
Okay, so I have a question. Which mantra are we assigning to which group, and which week is going to be for next weekend?
Who wants to go first?
Don't jump in all at the same time, okay?
Okay, I want Pam's group, Pam, Ramya, Devika, and I don't know who else. I would like to do the Mahakali with that group.
Okay, so does that mean that they would do research for next weekend, or? Good. All right, that's done.
Plan done.
I'm
Okay.
happy to take the 9 arrows if everybody else wants to do that too. And then the other one was Swami's personal mantra, was it?
No.
No.
We have 4 weeks, so there's another whatever you guys in Europe want to come up with. Whether Paul had made suggestions with the sky mantra, what other mantra that you were saying? We have Mahakali, 9 arrows, sky mantra, Shakti
But my
Gayatri.
my understanding now was that the sky mantras, that the Mahakali is now used. I mean, one group is researching on that, right? So we don't need to do that, right?
Right, and you're gonna.
So, and the 9 arrows are for one group. So I think, I don't know, the
Whatever
other
you guys want to come up with.
Yeah, what's about the sky mantra for the German group?
Yes, I would like to do the sky mantra too.
Helmut? Okay.
That leaves the last week that we do Swami's personal mantra and our personal mantra going into Guru Purnima, because we only have 3 groups. Is that what? Yes? No?
Sounds like a plan. So we're doing the Mahakali this first week, then we're meeting next Sunday, and we're doing the 9 arrows. I'm asking actually. Then we're meeting again. Then we're doing Swami's personal. No, then we're doing Sky. Then we're meeting again. Then we're doing Swami's and our personal mantra. Then it's Guru Purnima. Is that, am I correct?
Okay, so what we're saying is that this week we're doing Mahakali, and then the people who have that mantra are going to give us information, or are we starting next week?
We're starting next week.
Can't hear you, Kasky.
We're starting next week. So they're going to research on Mahakali, and we'll start next week.
Cool.
So I have a question too. To me, it's not quite clear if we are starting as a whole group with the same mantra for 1 week and just sharing experiences in one group to that special mantra, or if every subgroup does another mantra in every week on its own decision. So this seems to be finally not clear to me. I'm sorry.
Okay, so the searching the knowledge is going to be done by the subgroup.
Yeah, that's clear.
Whole group will use the mantra.
Whole group will use the same mantra.
Yes, so you're going to be,
every week.
yes. So
Okay.
that's researching Mahakali. Will come back and talk to us next week about Mahakali. We'll use
Okay.
mantra together as one large group. So when you start your meditation, you'll connect to all of us. We'll
All
use it for the week.
Mahakali. Mhm.
Yeah. And then we'll use it for the week, come back, people can share their experiences with using the mantra.
Yeah.
The next This group will talk about their research on their mantra, and then for that following week, we'll use the, as a whole group, we'll use the next mantra.
Are they going to make their research on the Mahakali or on a, not
The
on
new
an,
mantra. The new mantra. So
Mhm.
each group is researching on their one mantra. So the first group is researching on Mahakali. They'll share that with everybody. The next group is going to research on, was it 9 arrows?
Oh, yeah, 9 hours.
Okay, and then they'll share their research with everybody, and then we'll all use that mantra.
okay. Thank you.
So that means that the people that are the Germans that are doing the Shiva research, if they want, they can meet. We're going to send out your contact information in the groups, and we'll send it out to you guys, and then you guys can meet as a subgroup to discuss, you know, who's going to research what. Helmut has a lot of knowledge and a lot of digital things that you could share and stuff like that. Andrea, same thing. And you guys are going to get together as a subgroup, like a research group, right? And you're going to figure out that when that Sunday comes up, you're going to make a presentation or discussion about the importance of the Sky Mantra, right?
I want to say that it should be like half an hour, because we have a time. We're doing this for like an hour and a half, so we have to have time for people to share what their experiences were using the mantra, and then go into the discussion, so the discussion can be for like a half hour, 45 minutes, then a meditation at the end to get the energy started with the new mantra. So just be aware of that when you're doing your when you're presenting your research.
And I really wanted to just share that it's really important that everybody participate in this knowledge, in this sharing, and this. It's like that's how Swami did it. He put people in groups. Remember that? He put people into groups. He said, "Go figure it out. You know, discuss and collaborate and communicate and figure it out, because you guys are senior teachers. So we want to hear from you guys, depth of your knowledge."
Okay. Sophie, did you want to say something? You're muted. No? Okay.
Can I see a show of hands of who's excited about this? I know it's like, I've got to do work. I've got to make a presentation. Oh, it's a little bit intimidating, but hey, you guys can handle it. You guys are smart. You guys are communicative. You guys are articulate. You guys are beautiful souls. We want to hear from you. We're tired of talking, okay?
And Baba and Swami will be oh so happy. You're doing this as an offering to the Guru Parampara for Guru Purnima.
So just to clarify, I'm actually really excited about presentations. I do presentations all the time. They're fun. But I do have a question. When you say research on the mantra, like that just means we're like, that actually has stumped me a little bit. Can you speak more on that?
It's just about going into the knowledge, you know, through the transcripts, the books, the Guru Day messages. You know, what do you know about the work that you've done, or, you know, things you've read from Swami? So this is Swami's work.
Okay, great. So it's kind of like a literature review on everything that we've read on the Mahakali.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Okay.
I would call it a literature review, because you're not going to go that in depth, you know, but it's integrating your knowledge.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And it's also working with other people and their knowledge where they're at, and really having a conversation. It's like a grinding session almost.
Yeah.
Isn't that exciting?
That is exciting. Swami says it's really what we need to do. It's like in discussing and grinding the knowledge. it's one thing listening to somebody else, but when you start digging into the knowledge yourself and discussing it as your learning process, could be when you have to translate it and share it with somebody else, there's a mechanism. It's a mechanism. He says it's important to grind. And it's exciting. You'll have amazing insights.
And you'll be surprised at what you know. As you start discussing it with other people, all of a sudden things, the knowledge comes forward and you go, wow, I didn't realize that was there. So it's kind of exciting to discover, you know, that you've taken in a lot and it's there and it's in our consciousness and it's available. So it's it's kind of exciting actually. So I had a thought, going into Guru Purnima, we can use Swami's personal mantra and our personal mantra, or we can go and use the Guru mantra like we were doing before and connect to the whole Guru Parampara. What's everybody's ideas or thoughts?
Okay, well, like we can think about it. Come back, and if no one has a strong feeling right now, just reflect on it. We can decide later. Anju says Guru mantra. Guru mantra, Swami's mantra. You mean linking them, Anju? Yeah. So Anju wants to link them.
I'm not going to learn German this time. I'm sad.
So the question is the group leader going to contact the people?
Actually, Anju Spiro and I have already done it.
Okay.
We're already hooked up on email. So, and Karen left the group, so not sure if she's in or not.
So I would say that the group leader, once we give them everybody's contact information, will contact you to decide when you guys are going to meet up. And so I would suggest that maybe between that time that they contact you, you start delving into some knowledge and seeing what you can come up with. So don't waste the time. Start delving into that information and then they'll get hold of you.
All right, I think we're pretty good done.
I have one more question. Since the things are hot right now, right? All over the world, people are out of their houses and flooding the streets. So what should we do for that until we start the official process? You want to do something as a group together, or?
Continue the second earth mantra for the week.
I mean, it's about calming the people down at this point, not the mother, like Mohini said, right? So calming the people down or whatever, highest good, I'm not sure. Maybe the people don't need to calm down. Maybe it's a good thing. I don't know.
Violence is never a good thing.
Violence isn't good. It's true. But people rising up it might be good.
Yeah, peaceful protest is good, but you know, violence and
violence is not good. So it's about calming the violence of the people. So second earth is good, but I don't know. I just thought maybe it'd be good to just.
Would Sky be able to help?
Yeah, I was thinking Sky mantra. You know, this is part, you know, that's a great question, Doreen, because it reflects on our understanding of the energy that that we've done before, because we've done it and we didn't know what we're doing, but we're doing it, you know. But it really requires a really deeper understanding, because one part, the the Sky Mantra is about one part healing, but it's primarily for ourselves. But you know, I also thought about Shakti Gayatri. You know,
well, actually, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go
no,
on.
it's okay. It's okay, because it's really the question is, what vibration are we going to be introducing? That's the question. You know, are we going to introduce the mother's energy? Are we going to use the father's energy? Or are we going to use both? Are we going to use the angels? You know, it's kind of like I'm thinking and processing it in my head. Well, what would Swami do? You know, I think natural catastrophes. Okay, that's more Maheshwari. You know, but what's my default? You know, Spiro, this is a really good learning for you, because as you start developing relationships with these mantras and these vibrations, you'll have an intuitive understanding about which mantra to pull for what reason and what vibrations that you're going to implement. And that's part of our, you know, this is what's been happening over the past several months, is like, what would Swami do? And what we are in the same position as Swami, except he's not here in a physical body. What can we do, and how can we become masters like Swami? You know? So it really is begging the question of self-inquiry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just mentioned the Sky Mantra because I know that we're supposed to use it for ourselves, but I know that Koshaji also said that we could use it to heal others. Only because I was thinking about a father taking care aspect to the mantra, and also the cooling effect of the Sky Mantra. So it doesn't have to be a Sky Mantra, but I was only thinking about those factors.
You know, one of my first, thank you, Devika, really appreciate that. And it is true. So I'll just share with you my experience, is that when it comes to negativity of this magnitude, my default is always Mahakali. Because if anybody's going to go to bat against the evil forces that are out there right now, Mahakali. My second default to that is, you know, the 9 arrows, because we all know when there's negativity that it is, you're sending out your legion of angels into the creation to mitigate some sort of situation. I also am going to be doing fire pujas and implementing, you know, some specific tools for using the fire element, you know. But those are my defaults. Any other?
Ramya brought up a good point in the chat box. Underlying the anger is the sadness of the people. How do we soothe people's hearts? So there's a heartbreak here that's also happening too, because it's like the people feel, okay, nothing's changing. We keep on going back. Same things keep happening over and over. And it gets to a point where, you know, you get tired of the same situations happening without any resolve. So it is kind of a heartbreak that people are feeling frustrated and angry. And how do we calm them down enough to be able to stop you can do peaceful protests like we talked about, but stop the acting out, the violent behavior. So that's
I know
a
I
really
mentioned
good point.
I like the idea of using 9 arrows because it's since they're Shiva mantras, but they're also it's like I've mentioned this like a lot of times with you and Paul and Kosuke. It's like a love song to the mother, and so it's a way to cut the negativity, but it's also to sweeten the heart of the mother to take care, I think. But that's just my angle, and I could be wrong, but that's how I've seen it in the past. But that could be. I'm totally open for the 9 arrows.
Spiro wanted to say something. Spiro?
Well, you know, one thing is their anger, fear. They are a very, it's a combination. And I'm thinking of compassion. Because when we work with mother, mother is the creation whole. So we cannot say bad, good, this, that. It's everything. If we work with Shiva, is the male. But when the male and the female comes together in union, then tranquility comes, consciousness, love. And that's what I am thinking of now. I'm not aware of if there is a mantra in Swami's, teaching where compassion is applied, where father and mother comes together in union to connect and make this balance. Because, you know, without a balance, we can always shift either this way or that way, left or right, good, bad, right, wrong. But we want something in the middle, and that's what I'm thinking of.
So I'm gonna address that issue, Spiro. Just it's a much deeper mechanism that you're talking about. So I'm gonna just say two things. One is Swami dealt with the poison. You can't ignore the poison. You can't, it was something very evident to Swami in his evolution, that he realized that one part you have to address that poison and you have to purify it. And a lot of times, the poison is managed by who? It's managed by
Shiva.
By Shiva, right? Because he's the only one who can really handle the poison and not destroy the planet. But Swami's principles and all the work that he did was, on one hand, you have love. On the other hand, you have power. You need power. You need that alchemy. That alchemy takes the poison, creates the nectar. And that has to be addressed from the 5 elements. There's no other way to address it. So the question, I hope that makes sense to you, Spiro, because as a senior student, I have ground in my brain how he did things. He used to use a thorn to take out a thorn. But either way, it's about how you deal with the poison in a masterful way so that it alchemizes. And you have to use power as a mechanism in order to do that. That's what the mantras are about. The mantras are about power.
Yeah, I think it's a kind of homeopathy. You heal with just a small amount of poison. And also, I want to say that I think that angle of compassion and love and light, sending light and love and compassion, is really being taken up by a very large portion of humanity. There are a lot of people out there singing on the Bhakti way and doing lots and lots of prayers on that. And I think that we're a little unique group here, very small, tiny drop of spiritual warriors, if you might want to call it like that, right? We have channels that nobody else has, and that's where we can just do our little homeopathic drop, just tiny little homeopathic drop in there and change an entire system. We don't know how powerful we are. So I like the idea of compassion. I mean, my DBA is compassionate touch, but I really think it's being covered. I want to vote for the arrows also, because arrows also contain the angels. And so we're pulling in the angels, right? And it also, it's sort of all encompassing. It has everything in there. It works with the Shiva energy, the Vishnu energy. It just brings it all in a nice little package. And also my personal experience with it has just been phenomenal. I mean, anytime I've gotten myself in any kind of situation, it just cuts through it like that. So it's an amazing tool. And I'm voting for arrows, 9 arrows.
Arrows for me as well.
So then we'll be doing 2 weeks of 9 arrows, which is fine. Doing the arrows is always good.
So were we starting with Mahakali when we start, or?
Yeah, and then the second week will be arrows. The third
Yeah, so
week,
arrows this week, then we start with
sky.
Mahakali. Is it true?
Mahakali, arrows, sky, and then this week I guess we're doing arrows too on our own. Is that what we're agreeing to doing?
I'm sorry, I lost you for a minute. So you're saying we're going to start with Mahakali per week and then do the arrows?
Well, I'm just wondering if we're doing the 9 arrows this week, just because people feel like with everything that's going on, we should at least be settling things down. But the actual process will start next week with the Mahakali. Second week is 9 arrows. Third week is sky. And then we go into the Guru mantra.
Sounds good.
Okay.
You know, I think it sounds good. I just want to throw this out there that we can think about. When Swami gave the program Road to Immortal Enlightenment, he gave mantras using the elements. This is going back to what you were saying, Paul. That's kind of what sparked it. So I was just pulling up my notes on that. And he gave, you know, combining the elements. You know, when he talked about the double elements, so like Naya, right? And then combining it with the pin code for the womb chakra, and your personal mantra, and then your mother's name. He gave, in particular, he gave one healing technique that was use any of the elements, but earth and air would make sense with the mother. Or you could also do air, water, but it's calm down fighting and arguments. It's like a decharging. So basically when you're doing the process, you're decharging the anger and the fighting and the arguments.
Oh, really? You see,
And
it's great. Go ahead, please.
Yeah.
So I think
you're brilliant. I'm shifting now. You're shifting me. It's brilliant. Go straight, drain it all to the mother's womb. I love it.
yeah, isn't it? Right? But that's because he's talking about, you know, as he's talking about the importance of the power of the elements. And then I'm like, oh, but Swami gave that. I just went to look it up. And yeah, so that's something we could look at too.
That's interesting because I forgot about that. When I'm walking my dog or I'm out somewhere and I see 2 people like really arguing loudly and fighting, I'll start doing that. You know, the thing, because he was saying, yeah, you can use the earth and the sky along with the rest of the mantra and it'll calm the situation down.
Well, no, it's the double element. So earth is Naya, fire is Ma, Va, sky is Shishi, water is Vama, air is Yana. So it's the double elements. So
So what he did was, in that, yes, that's correct. And what he recommended when you do the sky, he said to use the sky bija plus the earth bija plus the pin code plus blah, blah, like that. It was very interesting because when he said, you know, because she was the sky mantra, and then the earth was Naya. And
right.
That he said, it's interesting because the sky mantra represents Shiva, and the earth mantra represents the mother. So it's like Shiva Shakti.
Right, but when he used she, that was for your own decharging though.
Right.
He had to calm down arguments. It's using any element plus the pin code.
Right.
And then you're decharging that.
Got it.
Anger. So
I think that's great.
about that the Shiva Shakti mechanism using the sky. It's true.
We would have to send that out.
That's great.
Would you please send it?
We should use that. I think you guys could send that out for the people that don't know it. And I've just totally shifted my mind from.
Yeah. By the way, guys, that was a very, very, very high advanced level of decharging that Swami gave during the 90-day program, which was, you know, a month and a half, 2 month long program where he introduced he has decharging at so many different levels. You have dechargings the outer elements, and you have dechargings the inner elements, and you have decharging, to another level, and then another, womb chakra is another decharging. All this stuff is about purification. So during this course, don't get lost, everybody. We can actually share that with you and then discuss it. But that's a brilliant thing, Mohini.
You want to just, so this next week, do you want to do that? I mean, I could put it right in the chat now if you want it.
Yeah, and then can somebody please say it out loud so people who haven't used it know
Do you want to
how?
use, which one do you want to use? The Naya,
Naya.
earth and air?
Naya.
You could use any element. Naya.
Yeah, that sounds good because arrow the mental brings the mental down, right? So I think that's good.
Well,
And it decharges into the earth.
Naya is the earth element. Shishi is the sky mantra.
Okay.
I think, Mohini, if you could put together something to send out.
Well, okay, this is the mantra. And that's what he said, to calm down fighting and arguments.
Okay. That's the earth element.
Type of relationship.
Earth
And
and
what you have to
air.
do is chant, let me put the direction here.
Yeah, it's earth and air.
Earth and the air.
Sky.
Shivaya.
And then you chant the mantra, thinking on the person to make them calm down. In this case, we're thinking about humanity. I mean, it's not a person in specifically, but if we want to work on calming down the violence that's going on in the world right now, we can think about humanity as a general one human.
Can we also then replace calm down the violence and be able for humanity to constructively shift in a constructive way? Because what they're doing is they're trying to get attention, they're trying to raise the awareness to the problem. So maybe we shift it to a non-violent way.
Or the thing is just say the mantra for the highest outcome of all, and don't get too much into our heads, right? Let the energy do the work, right? For the highest outcome.
No, you have to make an intention.
To dispel the anger, to remove the poison of the anger and the pain associated with it, so that there can be healing. So that's really what it's about. It's about
that's perfect. Yeah.
So write it down, because I'm sorry, it just kind of popped into my brain. Because by the way, just so everybody knows, this is like a grinding session. So if you're feeling your body kind of like needing to move and you kind of adjust, and just the energy can be quite overwhelming, just be patient, and all the answers to questions will be there. So to make them calm down, right. So
I mean, that's the direct chant, the mantra. That's exactly what Swami said. But again, person, we were replacing that with humanity.
So we can send that intention to the globe, the Naya Hesrim, Yama Shaha Ji, plus your personal mantra, plus your mother's first name is okay. You don't need to put the whole thing. So just so a little bit of a knowledge thing here, your womb chakra and your mother's womb chakra are connected. And then it's through your mother's womb chakra that we connect to the universal mother's womb chakra. So you just have a little bit of an understanding that we're implementing the mother's energy in this process with the energy of the angels associated with the elements. And it's a very powerful technique. And we're going to experiment. we're going to experiment. We're going to really put our intention, which is to have the mother's energy suck out the pain and the anger and the poison that is associated with all the stuff that's going on the planet. How does that sound, Mohini? Doreen?
Yeah, perfect.
Because what we're doing is we're activating, we're initiating, we're begging, and we're using our soul capacity in relationship with the mother to help calm down and remove the poison through her divine beloved Shiva, to pull that poison out and to take care of the pain and the suffering that's on the planet. Any reflection from all you divine souls? How does that sound? Andrea, Ramya. I want to hear from you guys. Sophie, how does it sound? Do you feel overwhelmed? How does that resonate with you? Anju, G. Okay, thumbs up with Anju. Ronaldo, Samadhi. How does it feel? Okay, the eyebrows means a yes. Good.
It sounds good, and it does make sense absolutely to me. Really. Also in balancing Shiva and Shakti. Creating more balance.
Cool. We're experimenting, guys. There is nothing right or wrong about what we're trying to do. We're trying to implement as Swami would do. You guys are the rishis.
Uh-huh.
Right, you
Paul,
girl?
Dave?
this is Pam Sacamano. I just wanted to also add that Swami said when we add our mother's name at the end of any mantra, it's like 1,000 times more powerful. So any prayers that we do, we can always add our mother's name at the end.
Cool.
I don't know if people know that or not.
Cool.
Thanks, Pam. That's amazing.
Fantastic.
Okay,
Cool.
so I guess everybody has their job tasks in hand, and it's going to be exciting to hear what you guys come back with. And yeah, it's exciting to be able to. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I have one more question. I wrote down Devika and myself are in the group, and who else is in our group?
Ramya, and I don't know who else.
Ramya? Okay.
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo. Okay.
Gotta have the Canadians. Eh?
The Canadian.
Balancing the North American continent.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Unity.
Okay.
So, and I'm not sure if Karen is gone. She left the meeting, so I don't know if she's out or in. So maybe Paul, you could ping her and see, since you have her contact.
We'll send you guys the contact information of each one in the group.
Okay.
So we start this today? Tomorrow? When is everybody?
Today.
Today.
Let's go. Starting today.
How many minutes, Kowsaki?
20 minutes.
Okay.
All righty.
Or as much as you like.
Or, yeah, right. Or as much as you like. Always.
If you're feeling, like you really want to get in there.
Always. Yes. Okay.
We say keep go.
That's right. Keep going.
Spiro's going to be doing it all night long.
In his sleep.
In his sleep.
Usually, actually, I do that. When I do a mantra, it comes back in the night and I hear myself saying it. So that's very true.
Hey, just let us
Beautiful.
know. Just let us know. Give us a report. Probably what's going to happen is that Spiro's going to start soul traveling, and then he's like, I just did it, you know.
Well, you never know who's coming next.
Sure.
All right, guys.
Closing mantra. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay, we'll see everybody next week.
Namaste, everyone. Take
Yeah.
care.
Have fun.
See you.